This program has brought an
This meeting is being recorded.
the successful prospects of this business in the current scenario. Being the sixth day, it is a very happy note that there has been consistent support from the end of the participants, and that is encouraging and motivating us to move further. We are very grateful for that. At this juncture, we would like to extend a warm welcome to our honorary secretary, ABCV Shakalingham sir. Also, we would like to extend a warm welcome to our beloved principal sir, Dr. C.V. Babu sir, and has been supporting us. And without them, there would be nothing. So we are very grateful for them, and we welcome you, sir. And we also welcome professors of VOC College and professors of Jayanti College to this particular FDP program, especially Dr. Baba Nyanakumar, who is the steering wheel behind this faculty development program. And also we extend a warm welcome to Dr. Maria Nevesori, sir, who's head of the Department of PG and Research, Department of Commerce. We also welcome the participants who serve the epicentral role of this particular FDP program. Without the participants, whatever happens is quite pointless. So we extend a warm welcome to each and every participant in this particular program. And in line with introducing the chief guest of this particular program session, we are stepping on to the session day 6, and we have got Dr. Ravindran, who is the Faculty of Management Studies in Jayanti College, who has completed BSc in the discipline of physics, who has completed MBA in the domain of marketing, and he has also completed MPhil, and he has scraped through UGC NET, and he also awarded doctoral degree in Pondicherry University in the discipline of management studies. He has got 12 years of experience in teaching, and he has got rich experience in training and research. He worked in reputed companies like Dabur India, Goodyear Tires, and leading beverages company of the world, PepsiCo. He has presented many research papers, and he has published more than 50 journals, 50 papers in journals, and he has been awarded seven different awards for the recognition of his work in research and service. Such a wonderful person that we have got to talk about sustainable practices in the corporate, and he has come up with some case studies, and I'm very sure that you would have a profound insight on the sustainable development and how it is being looked up in the industry side. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to the resource person, and we'll be very glad to hand over the session to Dr. Ravindran sir, who is currently working as a faculty of management studies in Jayanti College. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to you, sir, on behalf of PG and Research Department of Commerce. Welcome, sir. Now I hand over the session to you, sir. You can proceed with the session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor, for the nice introduction, and thank you, Maria sir, for inviting me also for the FTP, and thank my Professor Baba sir for facilitating this FTP. So, can go to the slide just a minute. So I hope that a slide is visible to you.
It is visible.
Yes. So I believe that few faculties for the last 3 to 4 days giving the basic introduction about the sustainability, especially in the ESG. So today the task assigned to me is to discuss any case related to that. There is an application of the sustainable practices from the corporate side. So I will be discussing on that. Okay, so just to have a revision of what happened for the 3 to 4 days with respect to the ESG. So we are hearing the word called SDG goals, 17 SDG goals, ESG, etc. So it actually comprises of the 3 different things for any business. For any business, which is very important, is profit. Okay, but for the profit, there should be a proper governance is there. But in the last 2 decades, there is a more emphasis from the government and also from the UN. So we have to focus on three important things for conducting any business. That is, one thing is, first and foremost thing, we have to take care of our environment. So how the company is doing anything, any business or any activity or any service without affecting or enhancing the environment. So the environmental criteria is the first thing of the EE. And next one is, whenever we are doing a business, is not only for the profit purpose, and it should do something to our stakeholders. The stakeholders can be the company employee, it can be the suppliers from whom we are getting the raw materials, and the end beneficiary and customers, and we call it as a public, who may or may not use the product, but they should also be getting the benefited, or at least they should not get disturbed by our product or a business. The third one, which normally we used to emphasize in any business, is the governance. The governance speaks about the leadership. It can be the hierarchical structure and how the people, how the top level. So mostly the governance speaks about the top level management. So how the top level managements are paid, and with respect to the policies and procedure, how it is periodically audited, and whether we have an internal control system and external control system that we normally call as audit, and how we are encouraging the shareholders also to involve in top level decision making. So when we say a sustainable business mean, it should contribute to the environment, it should take care of the society, at the same time it should have a proper corporate governance. These all things we call it as a ESG. It's just a statistics available from the internet sources. Okay, so the UN emphasize, so overall we can see the last 2 years, so ESG users, it's increasing, and the non-users, you can see the bottom lines, the non-users who are not adopting ESG is slowly decreasing, just 1% in 2022, and in the near terms it will be zero. And in the entire the world, we can segregate into three main areas. One is the European nation and North American nation and Asia Pacific. If you see this, there also there is an emphasis of ESG, and you can compare Europe, North America, and Asia Pacific. So Europe is leading. We heard about the words like Euro norms in terms of pollution control, like that. So they are leading in the ESG, and it's followed by Asia Pacific and followed by North America. If you see the overall statistics, year on year, there's a growth in ESG implementation by the corporate companies. And when we say the environment, there's a more emphasis we used to call it as a greenhouse effect, climate change, like that. So if you see in the three main regions of the world, globally there is a more importance. Globally, the more importance is given to the environment, because we heard about the global warming, etc. So nearly 50% importance in any business is emphasized in environment, and followed by the governance, and by the society. If you see the all the three divisions, equally, more or less equally, the contribution remains the same in all the countries. And there is a survey, it's conducted. So when we say is EG, the goals, so the social issues and climatic change and biodiversity, these are the three important words they are telling. So there is small clarification is required whenever we are saying about climate change. uh, Mostly it is related to social issues. So there is a perception, so most emphasis on social issues, and they are not more care about the environment. That is one discussion they are telling. And climate change is mostly emphasis only set of groups, and not by all. It is not universally accepted by all the levels. Set of people only emphasize on climate. That is a perception. This is a perception study. And again, the biodiversity, when we use the word biodiversity, is giving more importance than the climate change. This is the perception for understanding. Then we come to the financial thing that the statistics says, it's in a June 1722. So there is a equity, it's contribute more in terms of ESG asset classes, and the least will be as real estate. So we can see the other things. So, and what are the challenges globally the companies are facing in adopting this ESG? So it is listed here. So the lack of robust ESG data. So when we say we have to control the environmental pollution, when we say we have to take care of the society, when we say we have to take care of the corporate governance, most of the companies are lagging in the proper documentation. This plays a very major role. Whenever we want to adopt the ESG, they are not having a proper information system, and how it is improved
Sir?
This meeting is being recorded.
Sir, please unmute yourself, sir.
Sir, is it audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, so the major challenge is the people are looking for a short-term investment. So for the long-term investment will be the heavy in terms of ESG. So that is actually lagging. So these are the few challenges companies facing in terms of implementation of ESG. So these are the other data. So as of now, I'm just skipping this. So now we come to the case. So it is a list recently, the 2022. There's a top 20 companies which are found to be having a better ESG achievements or implementation in them. So in this, I'm selecting the fourth one. It's Hindustan Unilever Limited. It is a FMCG company. So for the next few minutes, we are going to discuss how the FMCG company, this HUL, had implemented all these things. So the most of the things will be in the pictorial form. So slightly I will be faster. Okay. So the three sustainable goals. So we know that what are all three sustainable goals according to the Hindustan Unilever Limited. So it emphasizes on the action for improving their well-being and overall health, that we call it as a people. So it is a people oriented, it is a society oriented, and all the HUL business activities will try to reduce the environmental footprint.
Ravindran,
That
sir, I'm sorry to interrupt. Sir,
yes,
your screen
yes,
is not visible. Kindly please share your screen, sir.
yes.
Thank you, sir.
Is it visible now, sir?
Yes, sir.
So are
Thank
you
you.
able to see the three sustainable goals
Yes, sir, it is visible now.
and whether it is moving now? Whether
Sir?
slides are changing, sir?
Yes, sir, slides are changing.
Okay, fine. So the three things that
Thank you, sir.
actually in all the business process, they want to focus on the reducing the carbon footprint, and their services are most focused on enhancing the life of the millions of people, including the customers, or the employees, or the stakeholders. Yes. So about HUL in short, it is a 19 years old and it is a successful in India. Earlier, it was called as Hindustan Lever Limited. Actually, it's a base of Unilever, and it is India's largest FMCG company. And if you take anyone in India, so out of 10 people, at least 9 people will use at least one brand or at least one product in their house. And most of the brands, whether we are using or not, it is known to all. The brands are already positioned in the minds of the customers, and these brands are creating a positive social impact in our mind. Yes. So about the product category line, so it is having a set of beauty well-being products like Dove, and personal care products like Rexona, and home care products and nutrition products. We know about Horlicks, and ice cream brand we have a Magnum and Ben and Jerry, etc. So these are the major categories, but in each category there is a n number of products and n number of brands are there. Okay, so these are the some screenshot of the brands. And when it comes to the overall performance, before going to the ESG of HUL, we'll just see a glance, and at the end of the presentation, we'll come to the same slide. So HUL is very successful, and it is having approximately 50,000 crore turnover, and even the profit after tax will be around 8,800 crores. and it is having around 21,000 successful employees. They are satisfied and loyal employees, and 1,300 suppliers, and 29 factories all over the country. And as I said, out of 10, at least 9 people will be using the product. Yes. So when we come to the HUL commitment towards this ESG, okay, so they focus on the improve the health of the planet, which means that it's not only the people, the entire nature. They want to take care of the nature, and whoever the people who are using the product, they emphasize on their health, on their confidence, and also their well-being, and it's inclusive world. So we used to call this inclusive world. So there is no diversity, or there is no differentiation of the people in terms of language or anything. They want to include even with the people with the disabilities. These are the commitments of the HUL. And with respect to their business, what are the HUL business fundamentals they are having as it's listed? They focusing one side on the business integrity and safety for the employees and well-being of the employees. And just a minute. Hello. Yes. We have to engage another side, a stakeholder, and we are responsible to pay the tax to the government. And as the very important fact of the corporate governance is transparency. So these are the commitments the HUL have in terms of the corporate governance business. Yes. So we will see the pictorially how they are committed to the climate change. So they try to have a zero emission, whatever the business, either it's a production or a packaging or a transportation, whatever it may be, they try to emphasize on the reduction emission. And by 2030, they for zero emission in all the operations. That is their plan. 2030, there should be no carbon emission from it. And in terms of nature, so we know that in terms of producing a product or in terms of packaging, we need trees and plants, etc. So they work towards whatever it may be, including a paper, including a tea or soya or cocoa, or for the input for the ice creams. They try to reduce the deforestations. Okay, so to take care of the nature, and how we can take care of the forest, how we can preserve the forest, how we can take care of the normal land, how we can take care of the ocean. These are also their ESG goals, and they want to have 100% sustainable sourcing. So they are very friendly to the farmers. They want to help the farmers, how we can get the product directly from the farmers to take care of their lives, and how to empower the farmers, and also by encouraging these farmers, the environment will be taken care. Another side, so water, it also has to be preserved when we are taking care of that nature. Then in terms of waste-free world, so waste-free world, in terms of manufacturing, in terms of transportation, or in terms of packing, there is a more chance of waste. So overall, they try to reduce the waste by using the product raw material optimally. And another thing, how we can recycle the plastic, that is a very important thing. So they try to use 100% reusable or at least recyclable that can be used again and again. And by 2025, they aim at 15% recycled plastic by 2025. So even in the food product or whatever the product, the plastic occupies the major role, including the packing of the product. They try to reduce the plastic usage, or at least can go for a recyclable plastic. And another commitment they are having is how we can reduce the water consumption in terms of production, and how we can reduce the waste, and how we can reduce the emission of carbon. So their commitment is greenhouse gas, elimination of coal usage. They completely coming out of the coal usage because it is giving a more pollution or more smokes, which gives the CO2 emission. So they try to control or eliminate 94% of coal usage, and 100% they have in all the operating system, they have a zero waste landfill system they are having, and they try to reduce the water consumption by 47%, and all the their production plant and also in the other storage plant, they try to have a rainwater harvesting to save water. And whenever possible, using the technology and other methodology, the 54% factory waste is reduced, or at least that will be used as a byproduct for some other production. And with respect to their commitment in terms of environmental friendliness, because why here is they are into the ice cream business, they are into the cream related business. So in the ice cream and other dessert related product, the refrigerator, the coolant is very very important. So it is unavoidable. We know very well that air conditioner, air cooler, and the refrigerator are accepting, that's emitting this hydrofluorocarbon, which is so poison than the carbon dioxide. So they try to have a technology to use hydrocarbon, that's a HC instead of hydrofluorocarbon. Even it is a very costly, they try to adopt the technology to control it. So approximately 146,000 freezers along with their fleet. Fleet means the vehicle they try to have in terms of their business to reduce the uh, emission. Then another things, waste free land, as I told, that 1.16 lakh ton waste collected. So they are not only trying to reduce the wastage of the product in terms of production, and also they have a separate associated with the NGOs, and they are encouraging the people to collect the waste and trying to dispose it properly or recycling properly. And they used to call it as a plastic neutrality. So either even sometime there may be a chance of a plastic disposed by the customers, or what are the possible ways we can collect it back. And in terms of their packaging or a production or a distribution or in some other way, they always try to reduce. First thing, they try to reduce the plastic usage if they have to use the plastic, because we cannot avoid 100% of plastic usage. So at those situations, we try to use a better plastic. Better plastic means we know very well that the plastic covers we usually use before 10 years and what we are using now, it will be different. It will be very thin and it is a recyclable. The same way water can we are using now, we are coming with a different recyclable can. So likewise, first we will try to reduce the plastic usage. Then if you have to use the plastic bin, we have to use the better plastic, and slowly we have to go for a no plastic. So that we call it as a post-consumer recycled plastic. Even the customers are having how we are collecting it back and recycling it. So here we call it as a smart fill station. So in a few locations, smart fill stations where the consumers can refill their product. It is a old type. So for example, we used to have a vessels to get the water from our municipal water pipe. The same way, they encouraging the customers, if you're using in a bulk or if you're using regularly, means nearby shop they are arranging some vessels. You can go there in terms of oil or in terms of a paste or in terms of shampoo, they can collect it from there. It's like a vending machine, you can collect it from there, so that the usage of plastic is reduced. That is also their one of the ESG commitment towards it. Now we will see some of their initiatives. So waste no more curriculum 3 lakh plus students. So they worked with some NGOs and try to reach the school students and possible some college students also in rural people. And in their curriculum, the curriculum itself, they try to incorporate, they arrange the faculties and they arrange the students to collect the waste and recycle it properly. And they try to
This meeting is being recorded.
Sir, is it audible? Yes. And another things, they encourage this dry waste collection. Just a minute. Dry waste collection, and they work with the local municipal corporation, and especially they adopted this project in Mumbai and supported by State Bank of India. So collecting the waste, that is also their part of their ESG goals. And it's not only that, there are many people working in terms of municipal or other private agency to collect this waste, but who is going to take care of this? They may be getting some salary, but who will be taking care of their family, their construction of the houses or education to their children? So this is taken care by the HUL. They call it as a project Uttan. So how this waste pickers, approximately 3,000 waste pickers are identified, and the families, the children are taken care by this. Another thing, the Hindustan Unilever Foundation, so it's working on thousands of villages to support villages to scale up in terms of water challenges. So you can see they reached around 10,000 villages. Wherever possible, they arranged recycling of water, and if possible, they put a new water pipe there, water connections there. So they are giving more water facilities to the villages where they are unable to get the regular normal drinking water. The next thing in terms of sourcing, so business is not only producing and selling, so it should be sustainable. We have to start our ESG from the sourcing itself. So in terms of a tea, in terms of a tomato, in terms of paper and board, so in the sourcing itself, they started the sustainable sourcing. So that is possible by connecting directly with the farmers, avoiding the wastage and avoiding the carbon footprints. So this purchase itself, they have a contract with the farmers. They are not directly getting from the agents or something else. They are directly getting the fresh things, raw materials from the farmers. So they are sustainable in the sourcing also. So apart from the social commitments, how positively the positive nutrition, how each and every individual who are all in the BPL, so they will be getting a proper nutrition, and how we can emphasize on the health and well-being, and what are the ways we can encourage the equity of the people, reduce the diversity, and how each and every people can get equal rights, equal education, and exposure to other normal life what we are enjoying, and what are the ways the standard of life can be increased. So one of the main thing is education. They are also working on it, and they focus on the future of work of the employees and future of the work of the normal human beings. So another thing, they have a social commitment. Suvidha centers is most focusing on ensuring the hygiene and sanitation. So during the COVID time, this act is a very successful thing, and it is happened in Dharavi, Mumbai. So wherever possible, they try to have the sanitizers and the hygiene equipments, so that hand washing and some shower station using the to avoid the COVID thing, and providing the purified drinking water and other safety measures. So these all things are possible, and they try to reduce the COVID spread during that time. So that is we call it as a Suvidha centers, and they had a very great campaign during the COVID time, and the Lifebuoy. So the Lifebuoy launched its first ever children's alphabet book. So it was authored by Ruskin Bond. In this, they emphasize on how we have to live hygienically, and how we should be very careful to avoid the spreading of the diseases. So it is called a "It's in Your Hands" campaign. So when we see the Lifebuoy advertisement, it actually focuses on the driving awareness of the COVID-19, and it had the collaboration with the Fishy, and its in your hand campaign was so successful and is much appreciated as a social commitment of HUL. Then another thing is Domex. So Domex disinfect for safety initiative. This also they give wherever possible. They arrange the people to spray the Domex in the common public places in the transportation channel. That will reduce the spreading of COVID disease at the time. Then another thing, the Swachh Adat curriculum. Yes, so the clean habit. So earlier we had another project called waste management, recycling, etc. The same way we have to reach the rural kids. So how you should be very clean, and again it is a part of the COVID-19 anti-COVID-19 things. How we have to wash hands with the soap, and how we have to ensure that we are drinking safe drinking water, and very important thing, how we have to use the toilets properly. So these hygienic educations are given to the school kids in the rural area through their social commitment that we call as a Swachh Adat through the curriculum itself. And with respect to the Swasthya Abhigyan, it is actually a community-based nutrition program, and it was a history that is before 10 years. There's a lot of kids death, maybe less than 3 months, less than 6 months. There's a more death among these small babies. So it is happening because of not only the disease and other malnutrition of the kids, but it is a malnutrition of the mother. They identified. So they adopted 33,000 villages, and they try to give the awareness to the women, and they sponsored, they link with the local government people, how we can give the proper food during the feeding the kids. So this is also very much appreciated as a activity initiated by the HUL, and for that they use the product called the Horlicks. Then another thing, the major problem we faced during the COVID time is concentrators, or we call it as oxygenators. There is a shortage of oxygen. So they have a social commitment mission, HOTP, HO2P, that is actually oxygen concentrator. So they tried to have a 5,500 oxygen concentrator. They had a separate team wherever possible, wherever there is a requirement in connecting the hospitals or patients or the normal houses, they connected it and they tried to save, because the oxygen is so much required at the time. Maybe within a 3 to 4 hours we have to give the oxygen to get them out of the danger zone. So it is also their social commitment in supplying, and it's not only supplying and donating, they manage with the people to give to the needy. Then another thing, it's called as Sanjeevani. It is actually implemented in Assam. It is a mobile medical camp. Mobile medical camp. So we know about medical camp, but all the village people cannot come to the particular camp. So they have a vehicle. They got the doctor and nurses together, and they will go for a visit to the villages periodically. So 3.5 lakhs patients got treated through this, and it is also very much appreciated. It is called as a Sanjeevani social commitment of HUL. Then another thing, yes, one side we are taking care of the waste, one side we are controlling the wastage of water, and how we can financially or economically improve the rural people, and especially rural women. They are the core source of income of the family. So they identify 1.6 lakh people, and the Shakti project, we already know very well that Shakti project to improve the micro entrepreneurs, especially women. This is also one of the part of their social commitments. Then another thing, so not only the rural women, so they want to give the opportunities for a normal entrepreneur, and also especially with the specially disabled people. So they identified 11,500 vendors. They given the ice cream vehicle to sell it. They given the product. Through this, they become an entrepreneur. So one side they are taking care of the employees' welfare. Another side they are making normal public people as an entrepreneur, that will increase their self-confidence to lead the life. So around 250 disabled entrepreneurs also encourage, and that sustainability activity is called as I Am Wall. So it is actually related to the Quality Walls brand. Then we come to the governance of, so governance of HUL. Yes, their main focus is integrity, responsibility, and we have to respect each and everyone, and we should be the pioneer in the business. So for this, the corporate governance, the main important thing, as I discussed in the last slide, is accountability. So the top level management comprises of the CEO or a CFO or board of directors or other stakeholders. We have to ensure that the system is accountable. So we should have a diverse board, and we should have an external auditor, and whatever we are doing, the person should feel accountable. That is important thing, and it should be integrity, because as the HUL grown to the bigger stage, the stakeholders, if they ask a question, they should be answerable. So it is the integrity should be maintained, and whatever the process, it should be a transparent to the all the stakeholders from the top level to the normal level investors. So accountability, integrity, and transparency is emphasized and is highly implemented in the HUL. Then under this code of business principles, they have a code of conduct with respect to the risk management, product safety, and legal consultation and motivation. The same way how we can anti-corruption things, there's a separate thing is there, and how we have to maintain the confidential, that's called as safeguarding the information, and how we can engage externally, that is a two-way communication. So what are things has to be transferred from inside to the outside, it can be a government, or it can be our vendors or the suppliers, or it can be to the customer, how it can be done. And the reverse, what are the other ways we can get the feedback from the external people to inside to improve our business. Then irrespective of the levels of management or the type of people or the amount of money the investors are doing, everybody has to be respected equally, and all the customers, all the public has the equal opportunity to have a proper occupation, and health and safety has to be ensured, and all the individuals should be respected, and we have to give the importance to the dignity with a fair treatment. So these are the code of business principles followed within the company or also in the outside. So overall, so the policy, the guide. So if you go to the HUL website, we can see the proper policy guide, how the corporate governance code works, how the gender equality is maintained, and how the policy is supporting this, and how they are encouraging the whistleblower policy. So if there is something happen in the company which is against the normal expectation, means the whistleblower policy will work. And how the policy on related party transactions, so the financial transaction, how it can be audited, how it can be recorded, how it can be processed, these all things they have a set of policies. So whoever may be the CEO, who may come, who may go, it's not a problem, but the system of policy is very strong in HCL, that is taking care of the corporate governance. So overall, if you go through the corporate governance policy, they insist on many things. These has to be followed. As like there are around 55% board consist of independent directors. We have two different types of dependent directors. That's internally we have a directors, they will be coming regularly. Another thing is independent director, they are no way internally attached. So 55, more than 50%, there are external people, they are coming and auditing and ensuring that things are going fine. And 100% of auditing committee, nomination committee, and remuneration committee who are fixing are all independent. So because these areas only, there is a lot of question will come from the shareholder side and also from the legal side. So they ensure 100% these committees are independent board of directors. They are outside the company and they are not founder, etc. And 100% all the employees, even at the security level or at the CFO level, who are entered the organization, first thing is they will orient the people about their code of business. It's not, the first thing is not about how to do a business and a profit. The code of ethics we have to follow. What are the sustainability goals we are having? These things they are emphasizing. And with respect to the statutory committee, 4 out of 5 statutory headed by the independent directors. This means that they are not giving more powers to the founders or the major investors within the company. They are giving the freedom from the outside people. They are independent directors. They can come periodically. They can discuss. They can suggest, and that will be given more weightage than the internal people. That leads to the growth of the organization. And with respect to the biodiversity, yes, we can see even the people above 50, it's contribute to 55%, and 70 to 79 we have a 27%, and around 40 to 49 18%. So they respect, even they are respecting the old people, unlike the other organization. When we reach the 50 or 60, you will be discouraged to continue the work. So actually it's not like that. And so these are the attempts, but what are their achievements? So they got a certificate of recognition for excellence in the corporate governance by 2019. And in terms of leadership category, they got an award, and best governance award they got by 2021. This all shows that their corporate governance also is very good, apart from their other social and universal goals. So this is the statement by the financial, based on the financial performance. Ritesh Tiwari, Executive Director, stated that we have delivered a strong all-round performance in a challenging environment, making by the pandemic and unprecedented input cost fluctuation through dynamic financial management. This shows that, so they are able to balance the profit at the same time their commitment towards the society, their commitment towards the employee, without compromising their financial objectives. So this is the slide I already showed initially. So they adopting all these things, because there is a wrong belief is that if you are spending more on environment, if you spend more on taking care of the people, taking care of the employees, if you spend more on other innovative activities for the sustainability bit, our investment will be wasted. We cannot get a more revenue or return out of it. But they disproved it. Yes, they are able to balance all these things, and they got around 50,000 plus crore of turnover, and approximately they have 11% turnover growth, and the earning per share, that speaks about how profitably they are working and attracting the investors. So this is the slide which moves on. So how year on year their turnover is consistently growing because of their proper corporate governance and their commitment towards the society, etc. And their profits also increasing. So irrespective of the pandemic time, they are able to survive. And how the overall financial performance, profit after tax also increasing consistently, and the earning per share is also increasing. And it's not only that, the value of the brand, so that is also important. So from 2011, maybe within the 10 years, so 88,000 6,000 crore to now 4,81,396 crore. That is a market capitalization, that is a brand equity, the value of the company. So it's not only the profit or ROI, the value of the company, the last 10 years dramatically increased in their financial performance. That shows how properly their corporate governance is working. So despite a growing awareness, but still there is still roadblocks in the adoption in India. So from this entire HUL case study, we understood that the three very important things are important in ESG. So environment, yes, environment mostly it will be forced, yes, by the legal law or from the other people it will be forced. And in terms of society, yes, we are responsible to take care of our employees and also the public and also our customers. And G, corporate governance, yes, that is obviously the core objective of the organization. So if you have a balance of all three things, then only we can say our business is sustainable. So HUL is a very prominent example, not only in the entire world, but also in India. It's a diverse country with a different set of people. They proved that this balancing ESG is important for the growth of the business. So here I listed, so from the case study, still there is a growing awareness of ESG, but still there is some lag in the adoption in India. Why is lack of skilled talent? Yes, so many graduates are there. Many people are working objective oriented in terms of profitability, but how they thoroughly understood this ESG in their implementation of business goal is still that skilled talent in ESG is lagging. And many startups and also the new companies, they are not having a proper reporting format, reporting framework. So because the reporting and documentation is very important for the accountability of the business, there we are lacking. So we are unable to track where we have to balance, how we have to go. And another thing, lack of data and independent third party opinions. Okay, so when we want to work on some business with respect to the sustainability, whether we are getting a proper data, unless you are a big giant connecting with a lot of technology or with the government support, it is very difficult to get the proper data in terms of your success measurement. Also, it's a challenge. And another thing, all the small companies or startup are unable to afford cost of integrating this ESG. So all the companies will be focusing on the profit, but how we can spend initially for the environment, how I can take care of the society when I am unable to pay the money for my employees itself, when I am focusing towards the customer to reduce the price, how I can give the donation to take care of the education of the rural people. So here the balancing or integrating ESG practices is quite a challenge. Yes, we have to accept it, but we have to find out the way for it. So that is this is listed in SEBI. They made it as a mandatory. Okay, so we call it as a BRSR report. So all the corporate companies who want to be listed, they have to follow these things. I will show us an overall diagram. Okay, so section A, it is focused on the general disclosure about the company. Disclosure under BSPR, we have a section B, it should be about the management and how the process of the business is going. It is related to management approach. And the third one is about their principle, their code of conduct, that should be emphasized in section C, which has two things. One is mandatory, another one is voluntary. So there is a set of things, essential thing you should follow if you want to run the business. And another thing is voluntary. This will be differentiating from your competitor. This will make you to lead. That is called that emphasis on the leadership indicators. Why means according to the CEO or according to the leader, the business perspective will change. So something is voluntary and something is compulsory. So these entire thing has to be followed. We call it as a CSG reporting or BRSR reporting format. Yes. So to conclude it, when we want to survive in the business, to lead in the business, to go ahead of the competition, we have to balance these three things: environment, society, and governance. So we cannot give more importance to the governance and losing out environmental society. And another thing, to take care of the more in the environment, we cannot spend all money only in the environment, not focusing on the governance. And we cannot be a social donor in focusing only on the well-being of the people, but not caring about the profit. Yes, our shareholders, we used to call this stakeholders. All stakeholders include our public also. So the environment, society, governance, all should be balanced. Then only we can say that sustainability of the business is possible. So with this, I will stop the session. So if anything means, I can discuss further. Thank you. Over to MC.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, if you have any questions, please ask your questions to the resource person. Now the chat box is open for the discussion. If you have any question or if you need any clarification regarding the topic, please raise your question.
Dear participants, please post your questions in the chat box. Any suggestions from your side, dear participants? Yeah, you'll be getting your feedback link shortly. Yeah, right. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Dr. Ravindran, sir, for bringing about an awesome correlation between the theory and the practice of ESG through these case studies. It was a spectacular presentation on how responsible corporates should be towards enhancing the lives of all stakeholders and the special initiation corporates should have to conserve and protect Mother Nature through the three R's and to create waste-free products. Thank you once again, sir. I stand highly indebted and I thank our most honorable secretary, sir, Sri APCV Chokalingam, sir, and our most vibrant principal, sir, for granting us all support to conduct this FDP so successfully. Our special thanks to Dr. Baba Gnanakumar, sir, and all the esteemed professors of Christa Jayanti College and VO Chidambaram College for having waved the flag of support with us to take steps ahead in this virtual FDP. Last but not the least, my sincere thanks and appreciations to all the participants and students who have been patiently waiting to hear from our resource person. Hope you all had good thoughts to stow with regard to ESG. Thank you all once again. Thank you so much, Baba sir, and thank you, sir Ravindran sir. Thank you all once again.
So thank you, ma'am. Thank you, dear participant, for your patience. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Amit sir, shall we wind up the program, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.